Hey, what's going on, guys? We have a great time today, right? We're here, another exciting day, and I'm just glad that everybody's here already. Before I even began, y'all start talking. So today is a philosophical day, okay? Today we're going to be talking about uh, basically how do we plan? How do we plan out our story, right? Before we were talking about how we actually financially plan a story, but today we're going to be talking about our milestones, right? We're saying, hey, what milestones will we set for our story? What will we consider um, achievements? Yeah. So let's start off with how was last couple of days? You guys writing or not? Let me know in the comments. Also hit that like button and share this on your Facebook timelines. All right. Now, we're here talking about milestones, right? There's a couple of milestones that I really want to get into that I personally use, and I think will be very effective for you, especially if you're going to be making anything visual, right? Because we have a whole bunch of milestones for that. The original milestone I set for you guys for a personal task, which was 5,000 words a week, right? That's what I wanted you guys to do. Do about 5,000 words a week and you'll be fine, right? However, right, there are other milestones that we also want to get through too. So right now, because we're in week 5 of the course, we should roughly be at the end of the first act of your story, all right? So no matter what story you're writing, the first act of the book should be done now, right? Whether it's a comic book, whether it's a graphic novel, whether if it's a novel, it doesn't matter. You know, you already did your setup, your what's it called? You're transitioning into your the second part of your story, okay? So that's one of the milestones you should be looking at right now. Am I transitioning into the second act of my story? Am I getting to the point where we're now leaving our comfort area and going into foreign waters? You know, that's one of our milestones that we should be setting ourselves as writers. Now, if you're somebody who's going to be doing anything in the visual arts, right? You need to be figuring out how many pages can be done a week. All right, so this is where you find your artist, or if you're the artist yourself, you start saying, how many pages can I do a week for art for my project, right? And once you figure out that number, basically what you have to do is start setting goalposts. Say, hey, in this month I'm going to do 12 pages, all right? Every month I'm going to do 12 pages of my book, all right? So in 3 months I'll have my entire book done, right? Because I already have a set milestone in place. When you hit that milestone and you hit 12 pages in your month, you should feel ecstatic. You should be celebrating because you know that you're on pace, right? Pacing is everything, right? And on top of the pace issue, you also have the thing about morality, right? Or the morale of the team. Your team is depending on you, all right? So your team is looking for you to give them motivation. Your team wants you to have measurables that they can be super freaking happy about. And unfortunately, if you don't set measurables, if you don't set specific achievements, they're not going to know that they're doing good. They might start, having morale failures. They may start quitting. They might move on to better projects, all because they don't know that they're doing very good. So we have to set our goals, and not only set our goals, but let everybody on the team know our goals. All right. So I'll give you a good example. Right now, we're doing a manga for Raw, right? We're doing a manga for Raw. I told my artist for that project that if he did 6 pages in 2 weeks and he consistently hold that pace, right, he will be able to get the contract for the job, right? And we will move it to Kickstarter, all right? He hit that goal in 2 weeks like I told him, right? I instantly rewarded him, right? And then I said, hey, all right, we're going to go bring this to Kickstarter, go and make a cover for this. Let's go push this out there. Let's make some big plays. Now, the only reason why I set that specific goal is because I already know what I need. I need to make a book within this amount of time. I can't make a book where it's 1 page per week. I wouldn't use that artist because I have to make stuff in a reasonable amount of time. So I set that goal, right? And it's important for you as somebody who's in charge of your production to set real measurable goals that people can hit and then reward them when they hit it. Give them a little bonus. Who cares? Anything to keep their morale up is the most important thing in any production. You ever heard of the idea of high turnover, right? Oh, this company has high turnover because everybody hates working there, right? They have high turnover. You want to have low turnover, right? You want people that you work with stick with you forever, so long as they're quality employees. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we set great milestones. All right. So I'm gonna ask you guys right now in the comments, what are some milestones that you've already set for yourself in your specific story? Okay, so please leave me a comment in the comment section. Just go ahead and tell me any of the first. Tell me the genre that you're making, right? Which is either a novel, a children's book, comic, whatever, and then tell me your specific goals you already set and how you're moving toward those goals. All right, I'm not getting any comments, so I'm going to continue going forward with this class. All right, so Gentile has a specific goal in place. She says, having a novel fantasy adventure, have part one finished by April. All right, so that's a specific goal, right? I want part one done by April. All right, April 1st to April 31st. You better go ahead and make sure that you put that down on paper, right? Because you want to make sure that your goal isn't vague, right? Otherwise, you'll be lazy about it. That's just the facts. What? R Square Games, don't play with me like that. Talking about just release something this year. You need to release something by May. All right? That's what this class is for. By May. All right, the Great Gale is trying to catch up, doing 3K words a day. That is a very intense goal. That's crazy. But if you can pull it off, more power to you. Let's see what else we got here. See my computer and my goals. Have my book complete by the end of this class. All right. Novel institutionalized. Second part. Part one done by April 30th. All right. I don't set goals as I end up disappointing myself. Well, if that's the case, then good luck, buddy. Let's see. All right. So Shiva says she wants to have her book edited by April 31st. All right. That's cool. All right. So let's keep going, right? So one thing I love saying, right, whenever we're setting goals, right, is a release date. A release date is one of the best goals you can set. All right. The reason why is because it's one of those like finishing goals. So you want to basically say, hey, on May 30, the end of May, right? Maybe June. Let's say June 1st. On June 1st, I want to release my book, right? When you put a finishing time and you say, hey, my book is going to be done and published by this June 1st, you know now what you have to do before that. You have to plan everything. It's kind of like a beat sheet, right? You know when your book is going to end at this point, right? You know when it's going to be done. So what do you need to do before that? How early do you need to do it? Is now much more easy to analyze, right? You probably need an editor around mid April, or I mean not mid April, mid May. You probably need an editor go and finish up your book, right? You probably need a cover artist early May, right? If you need a ghostwriter or a co-writer, you probably need that at the beginning of April, right? Because you already wrote like 20, 30,000 words by then. These are our measurable goals, all because we set a goal of releasing the book on June 1st. You know what I'm saying? So we always want to have that big goal. Set it like the firm date, saying this is when the book is going to come out no matter what, right? And this stops us from making excuses because we are full of excuses. We will psych ourselves out of releasing something forever. We'll be like, oh man, I just don't feel right about it. Oh man, it's just not good enough yet. Oh man, I just got to rewrite the entire first chapter. I mean, the entire first act of the book because I just don't feel like it emphasizes the world enough. All these things end up slowing us down considerably, and it ain't going to help. Rewriting stuff is not going to help. After you done wrote it twice, after you done got an editor, after you done got a ghostwriter and all those other things, you're done. You got nothing else left to do. You can go and rewrite it if you want, but it ain't going to help it. You might actually make it worse. Who knows, right? So I always say go with your gut right off the bat. Say, hey, this is the way I'm making it, and then make sure you hit that date. I have been known to cut content out. I have been known to completely cancel things I wanted to put in specifically because the date of my release was too close. I said, look, it's too close. I can't possibly add this to it. I'm not going to put it in the released version. Period. Period. That's how I handle it. And I think people need to understand that when you're setting hard dates and goals and stuff like that, you're doing it not because you want to motivate yourself to finish. That's obviously one reason, but that's not your main reason. Your main reason why you're doing it is because you want to set a professional attitude. So in other words, you want to set an attitude as a CEO where everything's on a schedule. Everything for the next year. Every single thing you make, every single production you do, every single person you recruit is on a timetable, and you're setting that timetable for success. All right? The more books you have, the more chances you have to sell to each individual customer. The more books you can sell to each individual customer, the more you can actually generate in profits for yourself. All right? But that only comes when you force yourself to release consistently on a schedule. All right? My team right now for Black Sands, the Seven Kingdoms, is on a 2-month release schedule. That means every 2 months they have to release a new comic book. That's my artist team. You know how freaking tight of a schedule that is to go and do? Every 2 months you got to release a new comic book, but we're doing it because at this point we're trying to scale our company, right? We want to scale as fast as possible, and because of that, we have to release almost as fast as a major company like Marvel or something, right? Marvel's on a 1-month release schedule, but we want to be on a 2-month release schedule because our art is way better than Marvel's, right? So our art style is better than theirs, so it's a lot harder to pull off. And we want to keep that level of like mystique, that level of excellence, but we don't want to be too slow, so we said 2-month schedules, right? And that's what we're doing. So you have to set a release schedule. You have to set up your team to meet your release schedule easily, okay? Because you're the person who makes the last decisions. So you want your art to be done way before your release, right? You want your art to be done at least 3 weeks before the release of your book, because maybe you got some things you need to fix the last second. Maybe there's something you have to go and add. You don't know what you have to do. Maybe you have to format it a certain way. You don't know what you have to do at the end that might add a day or 2 or 3 per task. So you want to be finished with your book at least 2 weeks out. completely in every single possible way before your release date, right? And this is why we plan ahead. This is why we push everybody on the team to make sure that they get their stuff done on time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that way, but it really is very important. Now I'm reviewing the comments because I see a lot of comments did come up here, and let's see what we got here. 100 books done in 5 years. Now that's a damn task right there. You're gonna need to basically publish other people to hit 100. Dead serious. But it's possible though. Maybe you become popular and you start getting other people's books into under your label. That's a possibility. But 100 books is hard, boy. I can see 20, maybe 30 books, but 100, whoo, that's wilding right there. But hey, if you get 10 books done by year one, I'm not going to argue with you. You probably can pull it off at that point. We'll see. Go ahead and get it, bruh. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what other things we say. Uh, All right, Nandi says, I'm definitely not trying to rewrite a book. That's what I'm talking about. We ain't rewriting nothing. What we made is what we made, and we're going to use it, and we're going to release it. Let's see what we got here. What else? Yeah. So, really, that's all I have to say about this particular class. This one was about motivating you to set your goals for everything. All right, not set your goal just for words, how many words you're gonna write, but set your goal for your employees. Set your goal for when you're releasing the book. Right? Set your goal for when you're done with all your recruitment. You got to have these goals locked down. You got to have them on a board. If you look at this, let me see if I can show you something. All right, so let me show you this real quick. This right here. I hope you guys can see it. I'm gonna see it in a second. But let me see if you can see that real quick. So you see, I got a board that basically has everything that I do on it, right? For this month, right? It's a short-term goals, but this is important. You need this. You need this definitely, and it really helps significantly with keeping yourself on track. You don't want to go and get off thing. So, you got to have something right in your face that's telling you, hey, I need to get this done right now. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to show you that I have it personally right in my face every single day. Even when I'm playing video games, I'm looking dead at what I have to do this month. You know what I'm saying? So everybody should get one of these boards, put it right over your workstation, just so you know for a fact that you have to keep your mind on the prize. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'll take any questions you guys got, all right? Give me questions, a whole bunch of questions. What questions you guys got? Oh, and by the way, today is the last day for signing up for the programs on Patreon. So I am closing out all of the Patreon things. Actually, no, I'm going to do it on Friday. I forgot. I told you guys I was going to extend it to Friday. So Friday is the last day for people to sign up for any of the extra services I'm doing. I also have a personal. This is a personal event. So on March 30th, right? March 30th at the Trustville Civic Center in Alabama, I'm going to be hosting an all-day indie publishing course. All right, all day. It's going to be in person. Right? We're going to have about 90 students there. It's going to be catered, right? So it's going to be an 8-hour day. It's going to have full catering, and we're going to basically work it on the stuff that we work here. Only difference is I'm literally in the room, right? and I'm literally checking people's stuff out, and you'll be able to pitch your ideas to the entire room. You'll be able to share your stuff with the entire room, which really helps with getting your motivation up, really helps with helping your pitch, right? Because now you see people how they react to it, and you see how people are actually engaging with each other. It's one thing to go and text somebody and say, hey, look at my text of this. It's another thing to actually sit in a room and talk to the person across from you, right? So that's something that we're going to be doing on March 30th at the Trustville Civic Center. I'm setting up the Eventbrite thing right now for people in Alabama who want to attend on that one-day course. And, there's a hundred of cool things going on. But questions, let's see what we got the questions. Let's see. So, first things first, Miles Davis says, how do you do your art? Well, I hire a whole bunch of artists. That's how I do it. I have 4 artists right now under me. All right? So there's 2 artists for Black Sands, there's 1 artist for Cosmic Girls, and there's 1 artist for Ra the Dark Pharaoh. We also have an artist for Idiola, which is a different series that's made by Giselle, right? And that's a completely different artist. That's actually Mike Tony design. So Mike Tony's working on one of our books for us. That's kind of crazy, right? So we had some pretty dope things going down the pipeline, and that's how I do it. But the only reason why I can do that is because we move so much product. All right, let's see what we got here. What's the site called to find a cover artist? Best one will be Upwork. Go to Upwork, write cover design or cover art, right? And make sure to click the button that says non US only. Unclick that. Make sure that you have international because that's the best talent and it's way cheaper. Will there be online access to the March 30th course? No. There will be no online access. It's an 8-hour course. It's very long. So we're not going to be streaming it or anything. It's going to be all in person. Oh, and by the way, Teresa, basically this online course the in-person class is a pilot, right? So it's a pilot class I'm doing. If it works out, right? If it works out and we fill the room, and we sell out everything, I'll be thinking about doing this nationally. So I'll be setting up Eventbrite tickets for every major city out there. All right, all the major cities on the East Coast. I'll probably start setting up Eventbrite tickets for it, so we can go and get into those areas as well. Maybe do one in Chicago, do one in New York, do it in Atlanta, do it in North Carolina, whatever. Right? We'll do it because it's the upkeep's not that bad, and everybody needs to actually work with me personally. People don't like seeing stuff, like people don't like coming to like online stuff that much, but when it's one day of intense courses and workshops and stuff like that, they really get excited about that. So okay, Nandi asks, when writing, do we write in book format or do we just write and when complete have the edit? Yes. So, Nandi, just write the way you're most comfortable writing and then have an editor go and format it for you. They usually do that for free. They don't charge for formatting your book. It's kind of something that's like in the job description. If they're editing your book, they also format it by the by whatever specs you tell them. So if you tell them it's a 5 by 5 by 8.5 book printed through KDP, so use KDP's instructions on how to format the book, they'll say okay and then they'll do it for you. All right? Laura asks, so after the finished product, do you ever give your book to someone to read before releasing it? I don't really do that too much. What I do though is I show samples. So I show samples of a couple of pages, couple of work, but I never show the entire thing to other people. Mostly because I have a lot of people that actually work for me, right? So because I have so many people who work for me, I actually have a pretty decent amount of different eyes on the product already to see if it's good or not. I have like freaking 10 voice actors on my thing. I have editors and video people and all this other stuff. So there's plenty of people who already given their opinion. So I don't go and externalize the thing. And every last one of them is under a non-disclosure agreement, so they can't even talk about it unless I release it anyway. Okay? So Teresa asked, this is an interesting one. Is there a Comic Con type event near Dallas? Yes, I'm gonna be at Fan Expo Dallas. All right, Fan Expo Dallas. That's gonna be May something. All right, sometime in May. All right, if you want to see me in person in Dallas, go and get your tickets for Fan Expo Dallas, and you're gonna see me there. All right, I'll be at Artist Alley, chilling with the homeboys. Where can you find trustworthy editors online? Upwork. Upwork is the best place to find writers. All trustworthy. Just freaking look at how many jobs they've done, how many hours they've worked, and their completion rate. All right. If they've done a lot of jobs, they made a lot of money on the platform, and they have a good completion rate, I guarantee you they're gonna finish your job. All right. If they got new stuff, if they only been around a week or a month, don't use them. Use people who had serious jobs done, like they actually completed their work. Hiring artists is extremely expensive. Let's see. What's the last one? I got nothing in San Diego. Do you have a date of completion for when you will choose three works to be with you at a convention? No, I really don't. However, they should be done by the end of the course. People should be have their manuscript done, all the art done for their book by the end of the course. And if they do, I'm going to judge those, right, and let you guys see some samples of those books. And the top three will be allowed to attend one of our conventions this year. All right. Do you worry about people stealing your story? Absolutely not, because I don't show them my whole story. All I show people is at most my log line and a redacted synopsis. So in other words, synopsis of like the first two paragraphs, not the third paragraph. The third paragraph of your synopsis should tell the whole story. It should talk about what happens in the middle. It should talk about what happens at the end, who's doing what, how the victory will happen. So don't show them the third paragraph of your synopsis. Don't show them the beat sheet at all. That's the easiest way to get your content stolen, is to give somebody your beat sheet, because your beat sheet's literally your entire book in bullet point form. So I would say always protect your beat sheet with your life, but everything else, yeah, it's good to go. Log lines, synopsis, just the first two paragraphs of your synopsis, and your character bios. That's fine. Who gives a damn if they know about what your character is like? Nobody can steal anything from that. You know, it takes a story to make this character awesome or not. Doesn't matter how you define the character. All right. I have no fear at all about people stealing my stuff at all. Yeah, you could always change your novel into a screenplay. Well, there's a whole bunch of websites that sell ISBNs. Me personally, I always tell people to get 10 ISBNs instead of actually buying one, because one is really expensive. It's like 180 bucks or something. but like 10 is like 250, right? And I guess it's just their way of upselling. But you're gonna find out later on that you're gonna get a lot of freaking you're gonna use a lot of ISBNs later on in your career. Especially because think about it this way. Imagine if you went to a hardcover, right? You say, hey, I want to do a hardcover limited print of a certain book. In order to do that, you have to have a completely different ISBN for that product because the ISBN for softcover is different from the ISBN for hardcover. Let's say you want to make it bigger than the other book. Let's say you want to make it like a big giant book instead of a small one for a limited print run, right? You have to have a different ISBN for that as well. All right? There's plenty of stuff in there that is going to change your ISBN, so that's why you get 10. Yes, copyright should cover all of your work unless you change it completely. All right, if you change a brand completely, you better go and redo a copyright. And remember, copyrights are dirt cheap. So when in doubt, when you think that you're not covered, just do another copyright anyway. All right, don't don't chance it. If you believe that you're not covered, just do another copyright. It's like freaking $35 or some crap like that. Just do it, okay? It's like one good meal, one good night out of town with your spouse. All right, guys, I am out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And on Monday, we're gonna be talking about more difficult stuff. So on Monday we're gonna be, I mean not Monday, on Friday we're gonna be talking about social media marketing. Okay. Now this class is not gonna be on the normal regular scheduled time. All right. So normally, the class is going to be at 8 o'clock, right? 8 p.m. On Friday, it's actually going to be way later. All right, so you're looking at a class maybe at 10 o'clock at night. All right, the reason for that is because I'm actually going to be working at Camicon all day, and I have a panel from 7 to 9 or something like 7 to 8. So I think the end of the day for Camicon is 9 p.m. So 10 p.m. I'm gonna come online and we're gonna do social media stuff, and then we're gonna be done. All right, social media marketing Friday night, 10 p.m. Central Time. That's 11 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. Yep, that's basically what time you got. 11 o'clock at night. Now I know a lot of you won't be able to make it. Just watch the replay if you have to. Okay, but that's the only way I'm gonna be able to get that class in because I'm gonna be working on Friday. Yeah, I'm gonna be at Comic Con all weekend, the whole weekend. Whole weekend I'm gonna be there. All right, guys. I will see you later.